Hello, everybody. Welcome to my podcast. I am the host, Monica Bermudez, for the podcast called Ascended Earth, the Transfiguration of the New Human. And I have a very special guest here with us, Jack Peterson, who comes with a very unique niche background. And he is going to talk all about crypto astrology, which is, a combination of astrology with cryptocurrency and talk about the whole new financial system for the new earth. And we're going to have a very special treat with a channel message for humanity. So I would love to read Jack's background first. Jack is a dynamic individual with diverse interests and talents. As a relationship coach, channel, and crypto astrology advisor, he embodies a unique blend of skills. Over the past 6 years, Jack has immersed himself in studying crypto markets, the new financial system, and astrology to gain insights into humanity's future. With over 6 years of daily study on crypto markets and astrology, Jack has acquired a wealth of experience, knowledge, and valuable insights. Not only did he successfully hodl throughout the 2018 market crash and invest in the 2019 and 2022 bear markets, but he also learned invaluable lessons that he applies to his investment work today. You can trust Jack knowing that he has been through the highs and lows of himself and has emerged with a deeper understanding of how the markets work. His personal development journey has taken him on a path of mentorship with some of the most renowned experts across the globe in crypto, astrology, and spirituality. He has devoted his life to his education and personal development, which is a testament to his dedication towards self improvement. Jack enjoys traveling the world and is now settled in Bali with his family. Jack is approachable and committed to helping others achieve their personal, spiritual, and financial goals. So, I want to say welcome to Jack for being here for this episode and for his time. So excited about talking about the digital, the new financial system for Earth, for the new Earth, because I really do feel we are in the new Earth now. So a lot of the financial systems is the one that has been changing a lot. And astrology seems to be pointing a lot to the financial system. So I would definitely love to hear more about this from Jack's, expertise and how he combines, how you combine the crypto and astrology. So we'd love to hear more about that, Jack. Welcome.
Thank you, Monica. What an intro there. Wow. Beautiful. Yeah, so one really quick note, funny note, you mentioned the word hodl in the
Yes.
intro. There's a funny story about that with people who are involved in Bitcoin is people say to hold it, because Bitcoin's very volatile, it goes up and down. It really goes in waves, and there's major market, usually 4-year market cycles that happen in kind of big waves. And so typically you want to buy when it's low and then sell when it's at the top of the wave, ideally. But then there's also another strategy to just hold it. The waves kind of go up and down, but overall they're going up. And some
Yes.
people just want to hold it for, 10 years or something. And so when people get scared, people just say, oh, just hold it. But then
Mhm.
one day, someone made a typo and they said hodl. And then so that went really viral on Reddit, I think. And so everyone
Yeah.
started saying hodl, hodl, hodl.
I love that story. It's pretty funny. I didn't even know about it until you told me about it, and I thought that was really interesting. So I thought it was just some acronym that stood for something, but as it turns out, this is a much funnier story.
Yeah.
Fun fact, about digital currency.
Yeah.
So I would love to hear though, like how the uh, I've heard the cryptocurrency is based on our emotion, but maybe I would love to hear more how you've connected the dots, with cryptocurrency and astrology.
Yeah. So there's many, many things that go into the markets and, what causes them to go in waves. There's the crypto markets, but then the more I've dove into uh, kind of the financial markets, the crypto markets are actually affected by the larger financial markets. People say the macroeconomics, the S&P 500 or the Dow Jones. Let me know if I'm going over your head. Some of this is like, I can go pretty
Yeah,
deep with this.
and maybe you could like start with some of the basics, for some of the listeners who may be hearing this for the first time with cryptocurrency and how does that all work in a digital world of financial systems?
Yeah, great question. Yeah, let's see if I can simplify it. So Bitcoin is basically a network, and you can think of it similar to the internet.
Mhm.
And so it's basically a bunch of computers around the world that are connected on this Bitcoin network. And people, it's actually it's coded, and so it's like a program on your computer, and it's pretty interesting. There's a program for Bitcoin where people run really complicated math algorithms on their computer in order to mine a Bitcoin. So whoever created Bitcoin in the original paper is known as Satoshi. It's this very mysterious person.
Hmm.
And I mean, there's many conspiracies about like who this person was, because no one can find um any information about this person named Satoshi, but they
Ah.
created this incredible thing called Bitcoin. And it's very advanced. It's totally genius.
Hmm.
Some people think it came from extraterrestrials or something. um
It's a possibility.
yeah, it is a possibility. Who knows? So this mysterious person named Satoshi created Bitcoin. It's decentralized. Anyone can have access to it. Anyone can buy it. Um, and so the way the original code was created is that people can mine Bitcoins by running those complex math algorithms on their computer. And then when they solve those complex equations, then they can mine a Bitcoin. And right now, a Bitcoin is worth $60,000.
Really?
So it's not a bad deal to mine a
No.
Bitcoin. Uh, so that's potentially real value. There's a lot of people that argue like, well, how is Bitcoin valuable? And
Right.
the main argument is that it's the first ever decentralized store of value. And in a world where there's been a lot of money printing
Hmm.
ever since
Paper
2008, when
money.
we had 2008, we had the great financial, a lot of people say a real estate crisis. Um,
Hmm.
the way that the world got and the governments got out of that was they bailed out these central banks that basically went bankrupt. The governments bailed them out, and the only way the government was able to bail them out was to print trillions of money, print
Yeah.
trillions of dollars out of thin air.
Yeah.
And so if the government's able to just print more money, um, then that basically devalues our money,
The
right?
currency, the current currency we have, right? The paper
Yeah, the
currency.
more the more of the dollar that you print, the
Hmm.
less valuable it becomes.
Hmm.
Um, the good news is when the value of the dollar is going down, assets go up. So
Hmm.
an asset could be real estate, it could be your house,
Hmm.
it could be rental homes, or it could be gold or silver. Anything that the world values that's a hard asset. I guess it could be a business even. But then in this case, Bitcoin was created in 2009, and it's now called a digital asset.
Hmm.
And so it's a digital network that stores value. And so people started to ever since 2009, people slowly, it's kind of a slow process. People slowly started to buying into Bitcoin. And here's a nice interesting statistic is that if you bought a Bitcoin, if you put $100 into Bitcoin in 2012, how valuable would it be today, do you think?
Oh, okay, it's a quiz.
Just throw out a number.
I would say 100,000.
It would be worth $1.6 million.
Whoa.
Yeah. So slowly over time, thousands and then millions of people start to see that, hey, maybe this Bitcoin thing has some value to it. So basically, the more people that buy into it, the more that the value goes up, and now a
Huh.
Bitcoin is worth $60,000.
For one Bitcoin.
Yeah, just for one.
So right now, the way the current financial system, right, is designed is like a centralized bank, right? That's where
Yeah.
all the money goes. And the way Bitcoin works and digital assets is a decentralized bank. So that
Mm-hmm.
means that it has more freedom, right? To like move around, or its value to be used anywhere in the world. Or um, so I don't know to what extent right now the world has been accepting digital crypto. Do you have insight on that? Like, is it
Yeah,
growing?
that's a great question. So I personally don't think of Bitcoin as a currency. I
Mm-hmm.
think of it more as a store of value.
Okay, interesting.
Um, it's a place to invest, or it's an asset to invest in for those who are
Mm-hmm.
interested. And it's not for everybody. Not everybody is really into Bitcoin. Some people really prefer real estate, and that's fine. Now, to be honest, in all transparency, Bitcoin has outperformed real estate, which means
Mm-hmm.
it's has actually gained a lot more
Mm-hmm.
um, since its inception in 2009. So if you invested $100 in Bitcoin, you would make a
Mm-hmm.
lot more in Bitcoin than you would in real estate. However, some people prefer real estate because it's just, it's more stable.
Right.
It's not as volatile. It doesn't go up and down like this,
Right. Yeah, I was
every
gonna
month.
say,
And
because right now
yeah,
the way the digital world is a bit riskier, would you say? It's almost like a
sure.
stock, right? When you have certain stocks, you have like a certain risk factor, and then you have the mutual funds, which are less, more stable. Stocks,
Yeah.
they can fluctuate, they can go up and down. Would it be the same though for the digital like assets, for the cryptocurrencies like Bitcoin? Or just
They do go up and down. Yeah. So that's one thing that scares some people away. So you could say it's more risky.
mm,
However, if you buy it and you're willing to hold it for a year
or,
to
or
even 10 years.
hodl
Yeah,
like
yeah, yeah, there you go. Yeah, the viewers now understand what hodl is. So if you want to hodl it for a long period of time, then it could be a better. I mean, I can't give financial advice. I'm not allowed to do
mm,
that. I
yeah.
guess that's against the law. I'm not a financial advisor, but I
But
can say
but
that
you figured out the trick, and that's where, we were interested in learning about your trick behind this whole crypto astrology, It's almost like a
yeah.
digital like financial forecast, weather forecast.
Yeah. So you mentioned decentralization, and that is one of the
Mm-hmm.
key beneficial things about Bitcoin and a lot of cryptocurrencies, is that they're decentralized. And that means there's not a central person, or there's not a central, like, entity that controls it.
Mm-hmm.
With the central banks, they're centralized. So they can just print more money when they need to, which actually
Right.
devalues our money that's sitting in the bank.
Yeah.
And that's actually why, if you think about it, it's like, why does real estate go up over time? you
Mm-hmm.
know why do things like gold and silver go up over time? It's actually because
Mm-hmm.
the dollar is becoming less valuable over time.
Oh,
And
interesting.
so that actually makes the asset price go up versus the
Mm-hmm.
dollar.
Interesting. Yeah, that's a good point.
So that's but in this case, when Bitcoin is decentralized, no one person can control it. You cannot corrupt the value of Bitcoin. It's extremely, extremely difficult, if not impossible, to hack it. Many people have tried to hack Bitcoin, and it has not been done. Countries have banned it. China has banned it, I think, like
Really?
8 times. And the amazing thing is that each time they try to ban it, the price goes up. More people want to get it.
Yeah.
And
Become like
so
gold.
they can't corrupt it, they can't control it. It has high integrity because it's governed by the network and the original code. Whoever this person is, Satoshi, or it might have been a group of people that created Bitcoin.
Yeah.
The code is, you can't change it, and so it's high integrity, and so it cannot be manipulated, it cannot be controlled.
Yeah.
So it's people that invest in Bitcoin think it's a good store of value. And so some people call it digital gold.
Yeah, it sounds like it's gold. I mean, because the way is the
Exactly.
value, like an extra asset to consider for investment, right? You can consider that as part of adding that to your list of investments. If you have real estate, you want to get into like the cryptocurrency and Bitcoin. That's another area to look at for investment as well. Um, so how many places are accepting it now? Like, do you find yourself going to like restaurants and they say, "Oh, we accept, digital currency here, and you can pay with your meal," you know? Um, Pay like go to a hotel room and they accept it. So do you find a lot of that in your area or?
No, actually, but what I do is when the price is going up for Bitcoin, like the last 6 months, it's gone from around 30K and now it's 60K. And so when the price is going up with cryptos, I kind of let it work for me, and then I just I sell some of it. So if I want to pay for gas, I actually have an app on my phone where I can just sell $50 of
Oh,
Bitcoin, and then I can fill up my tank
so you
with,
get actual money like out of it, like,
yeah, you can get
oh,
cash.
interesting.
And I actually use a debit card that's connected to the app.
Really?
Yeah. So I
That's
can literally, and
interesting.
it's like a Visa debit card.
Oh, cool.
But it's connected to my Bitcoin and crypto account. And so I can literally,
Hmm.
Bitcoin's doubled in the last 6 months. So then I can just use some of those profits to pay my bills.
Yeah. Wow, that's amazing.
Yeah, it's
Wow,
pretty
that's a
fun.
great deal.
Yeah. So you can just have Bitcoin work for you, just
Yeah, that's great.
hire
Uh,
Bitcoin as your new employee.
yeah, why not?
Yeah.
So tell me about like your examples, right? How you used astrology to become like successful at predicting and determining when the currency is going to be like really high, when to hodl, when to let go, I guess.
Yeah. So, you
You
know,
want to share your screen or do you have
yeah,
anything you want to share?
I'm trying to think where to even start. So, yeah, well, I can share my screen here.
Here,
I
let
think you have to
me,
make
yeah,
me,
I'm gonna change right now, then you have to maybe share, change it back to me. All right, here we
yeah.
go. All right,
So
you got it.
with astrology, the amazing thing is we can run a birth chart off of the moment Bitcoin was
Mm-hmm,
born. And you can actually do it with anything. You can do this the moment you start a new business.
mm-hmm.
The moment your business is incorporated, you can run a birth chart off of that. You can obviously do it for
Yeah,
yourself when you were born. You can do it for anything. You can do it when you get married.
yeah. And my
um,
podcast when it launched.
oh yeah, yeah, exactly.
Hey,
And then you can kind
so
of see
just
themes.
just real quick, because since we're gonna have this on a podcast platform, some people may not see what you're looking at. So if you could just try to describe for them, your chart.
Yeah. Okay. So yeah, the Bitcoin chart was born on January 3rd, 2009. That was
Okay.
literally when the first Bitcoin block was
Oh, interesting.
called the Genesis block, like the
Okay.
first one that was minted,
Yeah.
basically. And so we ran a birth chart off of this. And this is the
Wow.
Bitcoin birth chart. So
That's
Bitcoin is
amazing.
a, yeah, it's so Bitcoin's a Capricorn sun. Uh, and it has its Mars and Pluto in Capricorn, and it has an Aries moon. And so if I looked at this chart for a human, I would be like, whoa, this person is pretty badass.
Right?
Like Capricorn, like it's really strong, like Capricorns are like the toughest people to kill. Like they just last
Yeah.
through everything. They live the longest. They're just, really, really strong, sturdy people.
They're
They spend their whole
hardcore.
life. What?
They're hardcore.
Yeah, they're hardcore. They work hard. They get stuff
Hmm.
done.
Yeah, they
You know,
do.
they know how to climb mountains
Yep.
and break through challenges. And then we have the Aries moon, and Aries is ruled by Mars, the god of war, and
Hmm.
so Aries is kind of like the lone warrior, another really, really
Mm,
strong energy
interesting.
there. And then I mean it also has Mars is exalted in Capricorn, Pluto's in Capricorn, so a lot of really strong energy here. And there's even theories that the people who created Bitcoin probably knew astrology, and they saw that this was a really strong astrology chart, a good time to launch it. And
Wow.
so what we can do over time is what I discovered with me and some of my astrology colleagues,
Hmm.
is that when we look at future transits and how they affect the Bitcoin chart,
Yeah.
we can even pull up, what's going to happen in the
Hmm.
next few months. And that's what we've been doing for a couple years now. And if you can see
Wow.
here, so now I'm looking at the astrology transits that are hitting the Bitcoin chart. And so if we look at the left column, we have these planets here. These are where the planets are in the sky right now. We have Mars, Venus,
Hmm.
Mars, Uranus, Pluto. And then they're hitting, these are aspects that they're
Hmm.
the aspects that they're hitting of the Bitcoin chart. And so this third column is the planets of the natal Bitcoin chart. So then we see, you know, what aspects the planets in the sky are making with the Bitcoin chart. And of course, you can do this for yourself, your own birth chart as well. And you
Hmm.
can see what themes you're facing in your life. So I like to do with private clients as well, is look at their birth
Hmm.
chart and see what themes are coming up for them in their lives. But we see right here, like this, for example, Uranus squaring the Bitcoin Neptune.
Hmm.
That's actually fairly negative, because square usually represents like a challenge. And so I've studied a lot. I've studied every year of the Bitcoin astrology. So I've gone back into the history books. I've looked at all the transits and how they impacted the Bitcoin chart. And then I
Hmm.
looked at how the Bitcoin price was affected. And I know, since I've done all this research, that, when a planet squares Neptune with Bitcoin, it usually, the price usually goes down, because Neptune can bring a lot of confusion, and particularly in financial markets, when there's a lot of confusion, people sell. The markets don't like it. So,
Hmm.
and for this example, we're only a couple days away. Well, actually, this has been in effect for I think about 10 days already, and
Okay.
Bitcoin price has been dropping
Hmm.
ever since this transit has started. Um, and it's
Is
going to
it
get a direct hit on May 2nd in a couple days. And
okay?
Bitcoin has already gone down, I think about 10%. So this is holding pretty true right now.
Wow.
I can give a lot of other examples in the past history books. Um, maybe I don't know if I should
Maybe just
show you.
one. Maybe just
Okay, I
one
can show
that
you
you
one
want to
example. That's a good
highlight.
idea.
Yeah.
That's a good example.
Your
Good idea.
top example, that where you predicted Bitcoin and um, you know, whatever you
Okay.
want to share.
Sorry, I even remember this day. This is last year, and it was happening in March of last year.
Okay.
And I was looking at the Bitcoin astrology, and we see in March that we get this Saturn conjuncting the Bitcoin Venus.
Hmm.
And so typically with Saturn's a planet of like limitation, hard lessons in reality.
Right.
And so typically when Saturn conjuncts a planet like Venus, Venus represents money and
Yeah.
love. But since we're talking about finances, Venus representing money.
Mm-hmm.
So the Bitcoin Venus, Saturn was coming right over it. So the planet of hard lessons and limitation, and was coming over the planet of money. And so that happened on March 9th. And so I was looking at that. I was like, whoa, we could definitely see the price drop around
Wow.
that time. And literally within 24 hours, we literally
Wow.
had some of the biggest banks on the planet collapse
Oh my
on that
God.
day. And one of the banks was Silicon Valley Bank.
I
And this
remember that.
is, yeah. And Silicon Valley Bank had a lot of uh, technology companies in Silicon Valley that
Mm-hmm.
were related to crypto. A lot of
Wow.
these companies that use this bank uh, were companies that were involved in crypto
Mm-hmm.
and Bitcoin. And so the price of Bitcoin dropped, I think, like 50% around that day.
Wow.
Um, and if you're an experienced investor, that was actually a really good time to buy
Okay.
because against
Yeah.
what most people. Oh, you actually mentioned that crypto is related to people's emotions, and it really
Yeah.
is,
I've heard
because
that. Yeah.
on that day there was maximum fear. People
Oh.
were terrified because crypto was collapsing, the banks were collapsing. People were thinking this could be the next like 2000, or like the 1929 great collapse,
Oh my God.
the Great Depression. People were saying
Yeah.
like, oh,
The
this could be
market
the beginning.
crash. The market crash.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So there's maximum fear. But what
Oh,
happened? The government came in, printed a bunch of money,
right.
and bailed out these banks.
Yeah.
And so that's actually, once again, they're devaluing the dollar
Mm-hmm.
to bail out these banks. Um, but then the good news is what happened after that.
Mm-hmm.
When the governments print money and they devalue the dollar, um, crypto goes up
Mm-hmm.
because crypto and assets like real estate, you could even say gold and silver,
Right.
but arguably crypto has outperformed gold and silver even.
Hmm.
But when the governments print money, historically, crypto goes up a lot.
Wow, interesting.
And so crypto started to really go up after that. And ever since, so March around that time, Bitcoin was around. On this day when the banks collapsed, Bitcoin went down to 19,000. I remember it very clearly. And now Bitcoin's at 60,000 after they printed all that money to bail out the
Mm-hmm.
banks.
So whoever invested on that day for Bitcoin probably has thousands of dollars.
Yeah, yeah.
All right, cool. That's
So
definitely
in
very
in
unique.
times, yeah, in times when there's a lot of, potentially corruption in the world, and more
Mm-hmm.
people are becoming aware of, the money printing that's happening, and corruption in their governments and things like that. A lot of people are flooding into Bitcoin and crypto, um, because they think it's a safe place to store their money if you know what you're doing. Like you have to really understand crypto and understand how to do it.
Yeah.
And that's another thing I do, is I help train people how to transfer Bitcoin to
Mm-hmm.
one wallet to the other wallet, how to buy it. It can be pretty easy once you get the hang of it. Um,
Yeah.
but especially during these times, people
Mm-hmm.
are flooding to crypto because when they print money, crypto goes up, and
Amazing.
you're able to maintain your purchasing power
Yeah.
by investing. Yeah.
Wow, this is really amazing. Thank you for sharing this. And, for sharing a lot of information on this. So I was wondering, maybe it's around that time that we could get some of your live channeling, because just for the listeners to know, Jack
Oh
has
yeah,
been doing some
absolutely.
amazing channeling information that I've been following him on Facebook. And he writes like the most powerful, well, for me, it feels very powerful because really feel it in the heart. It feels very authentic, very raw. Um, the last one you had about the Ashtar, Commander Ashtar came in, right? Uh, that was an amazing, message for us, and I really felt it was for us, for those who looked at it and read it. So,
Yeah, well, it was he told me it was the galactic commander of the
mhm.
Federation of Light, and I'm
Yeah, yeah,
I'm almost like I'm still kind of mind blown. I'm like, am I really channeling this guy? Is this guy
yeah.
real? Is this
It felt real
what's
to
going on?
me, and I'm very
Yeah.
clairsentient, so I could tell, like, from the energy, when people are channeling, that it feels like they really are channeling. And
Mhm.
lately, though, and I've been connecting a lot with the Galactic Federation on my own with different, areas. And actually, I just had a ceremony and a ritual on my property to open up a portal that they wanted to usher in, like, new frequency, new Earth frequency. And it was the
Wow.
Galactic Federation who, like, requested, was guiding this portal for this, here in Mount Shasta, but it's really for the whole planet.
Amazing.
So
Amazing.
we'd love to hear what channeling for us, for a message for humanity, if you're open to it, Jack.
Yeah. So I definitely, yeah, I've been kind of tuning in with my channeling. And ideally, if I might have a lot to channel.
Hmm.
But then you can also ask any specific questions you have about, say, the new financial
Yeah,
system,
yeah.
or actually, I plan to talk about, like, when are the financial collapses coming up
Hmm.
here. Um, yeah, things of that nature.
Well, maybe you could talk about, like, the May forecast. People want to know, 'cause now that we're entering May, maybe there's a channel message there around financial system, you know.
Interesting. Okay. Okay, let me tune in, see what we have, what information wants to come through. Maybe give me 30 seconds or so.
Sure.
This is certainly a time on your planet of great change. Many of you are going through changes in your life. It could be health challenges, could be injuries, emotional triggers, emotional upheavals. Know that this is normal and there is nothing wrong with you. There is just an increased amount of energy coming to your planet from this location in the galaxy, with waves of photons that are hitting your planet. And this is rising the energy. And as this energy rises, the shadows can also come out. And these emotional triggers or challenges are really some of the past karmas that you are now clearing. And so it is not a problem that there is a lot of intensity or conflicts or emotional upheavals. It's just a time to clear these energies so that you can become lighter. And if you can imagine, to become lighter, we have to let go of the load, let go of old things that were no longer serving us, emotional baggage, past karmas that are no longer serving us. And so if we can see it as that, if we can just see it as that we're letting go of these past loads that are no longer serving us, we can navigate our lives with love and appreciation and gratefulness that we are letting go of these past things that are not serving us anymore, and that we are becoming more of our true selves. We're becoming more love. And so a key to help you on your journey is to step into more forgiveness for yourself and forgiveness for others. I know these are times of challenge. Now, you mentioned the topic of the new financial system. This is a very long process, you could say. So it's not something that's going to happen overnight. But the old system is in the process of dying out. The old central powers that have been running the financial systems for thousands of years in certain bloodlines are starting to lose their grip. And so you have the potential in this new timelines that are coming in, these new frequencies, for there to be much less war on your planet, to be much less conflict, and for there to be new technologies that are coming in, that are coming from the light. And another way of saying that is that these are technologies that are fair, that are in high integrity. And in the financial system, these are ways of storing your money that is sustainable and that is incorruptible. So these new technologies are coming in as an option for people to opt in or to opt out. And it is your free will whether you want to get involved in some of these new technologies. Yes, there are some risks, but as long as you do your due diligence, you do your research, you practice, you get involved, you start small and then work your way up from there, you can benefit from these new technologies in bringing more abundance to yourselves, because there will be times that there will be chaos in your world. There will be times of financial collapses, financial resets. And though these may short term be scary, difficult times, in the grand scale of things, these are very necessary to happen, because there are these old financial systems that are dying, and new technologies, new ways of organizing, new financial systems that need to be able to come in. So certain things need to be destroyed so that the new systems can come in. So hopefully that makes sense.
Yes.
And you can let me know if you have any questions.
So how does May feel right now?
Oh, May is it's definitely times of change. So there's definitely volatility in the markets. There's volatility in the crypto markets. However, based on your own free will choice, when the prices are low, can be a good time to enter. Now, of course, this is not financial advice, but during times in volatility, when people enter the markets, when the prices are low, they can benefit when the prices go up later. Now, of course, this depends on timing, and that's the challenging thing with cryptocurrency and digital assets, is it's all about timing. And when people enter the markets when things are low, and it's really psychology, it's all about human emotions, because when people are most fearful when the markets are low is typically people make the most money when they buy during those times than when the markets are at the peak, when the people that do the best sell during those times. And so it's all about kind of psychology and knowing when's a good time to enter the market and when's the good time to get out. And the people that really do the best during these times will enter the markets at the right time and get out at the right times. Like I was saying, there are going to be times where there's financial collapse. And I'm seeing potentially two waves that may happen, potentially around the years of 2026 to 2028, where there could be a financial reset on a global scale.
Hmm.
So let me know if you have any more questions.
No, this is good information. Thank you.
Of course, there's a variety of options, and it's important for each individual to, put their money where they feel most safe, most comfortable. And that could be real estate, it could be gold and silver, could be digital assets. Typically, some of these technologies, not all of them, but some of the ones that are going to make it through these potential downturns can be good investments, but these digital assets are also more volatile. So it depends on your personality and what you feel safe with, and what you believe in most, what you believe is going to make it through some potential downturns in the future. So like I said, could be real estate, gold, silver, digital assets, whatever you feel most drawn to. Is it's important to follow that truth within yourself.
Thank you. That was amazing. I love that. That was your higher self, right? That was coming in, or
Sure. I mean, in my experience with channeling, I think it's important to just let the information come through. And yeah, I mean,
yeah.
sometimes it says it's a commander in the Federation of Light. Sometimes it's just my higher self, or sometimes I'm just tuning into the collective.
Yes. Yeah. No, I
So,
agree with you. That's how I've been myself, very flowy. It's like somebody specific who wants to say something, or if it's most cases, it's a higher self collective message. So that's really how it felt. Like it was a very collective message, coming in through your higher guidance.
yeah, exactly. And
So I
it's
love
important
that.
to note that, the viewers can take in what resonates for them. And if something does not resonate, then they can kind of ignore that part,
Yeah,
whatever.
yeah.
Yeah.
That is so key. Thank you for saying that. So, this comes to the conclusion of this episode, and I really love everything that we talked about here about the new financial system for the new Earth. It's a lot for us to digest, right? So it's really what resonates for us right now, where we feel, comfortable, or really it's like an intuitive way of investing, right? So it's really where your heart is guiding you. Because I talk a lot about the heart GPS. So the heart GPS is also a guide to help you invest in the areas that are best for you right now. Because of all these changing times, it's so key and important to really tune into our intuition and get some insight on all of this. And thank you, Jack, so much for everything that you just shared. I just want to say to the listener that if you're looking for Jack, I have his YouTube channel information in the episode notes, and also his email address if you want to reach out to him. I've been, watching some of his videos on YouTube, and they're amazing. He has a YouTube channel called Cryptoastro. And for those who are on YouTube and you saw like what he just shared on the screen of that burst chart of Bitcoin from 2009. Um, he does that on his YouTube channel for like all his videos. He'll pull up the chart and he'll show like the trending, astrology, what's going on, and tie it into crypto. Then he gets into like other details of like, how the crypto did, and, what he foresees in the coming, months or days, based on the changing astrology, because we've all been going through, it's been like an evolution of the whole astrology. It's been um, quite a storm of energies. Like there's been a lot of astrological events. I just wanted to say that. So, Jack, if you have any final thoughts or anything else you would like to share, feel free to do so.
Well, thank you so much for having me on here, Monica. And yeah, I plan to do more channelings. It's a little
Yeah,
bit something fairly new. However, I did share with some of my friends who I've been sharing some of my channelings with. I was like, actually, I've actually had this ability for almost a decade now, and I've
yeah.
kind of been
So you're more open to
kind of
it.
been avoiding it. And so I'm like, oh man, I got to start putting this out more. Like,
You need to get out of
um,
that closet and show us more publicly. And you're
exactly.
doing great, and I really love your channeling. I love reading it on Facebook as well. And this was
Hmm.
amazing, amazing message here for this episode. And you know,
Hmm.
the intention though for the listeners, listening, take what
Yeah, so I
resonates for
plan to
you.
put out some channelings on my YouTube channel and then continue.
That
I've
would
been
be
putting out
amazing.
a lot of information's been coming through. I've been putting out daily videos
Hmm.
lately. So yeah, whoever wants to check it out,
Yeah,
come
definitely
join
go
me.
check out his videos. You'll get more channelings, more information of him sharing on the screen. That's always fun to see, what he's looking at, and he's explaining as he like goes along, with what's going on with Bitcoin and astrology. So, definitely, great channel.
All right. Well, thanks so much, Monica, for having me.
All right, thank you so much. And yeah, we'll definitely bring you back for another episode, talk more about financial system, because something for us to like. A lot of people are interested in it.
Yeah, and I could give, new updates,
Yeah, that
obviously
would
the
be
next time we
awesome.
talk, there's going to be different things happening and we can talk about the new updates.
Perfect. All right, thank you everybody who's listening for making it this far.